Jesus!
Welcome back to review the pay-per-view. Deliverance here. Today we have Extreme Rules 2012. Around this time, John Cena just lost to The Rock at WrestleMania, and also Brock Lesnar is back in the WWE. We had one banger in this pay-per-view, and we'll get into that. To kick off the show, we had Randy Orton versus Kane in an Extreme Rules match. This was also around the time when Kane unveiled his new look with a new mask, and we had that weird welder's mask in front of his mask as well. Match will start off in a brawl, of course, with Kane trying to use a steel pipe against Randy, but of course it wouldn't really work, and Randy used it on Kane. Fight leads to the outside, leading into the crowd with multiple failed pin attempts from both men. Fight also leads to the stage, which then leads to the backstage. In the back, they fight in a room where there's a bunch of wrestlers just watching the pay-per-view, and then Zack Ryder helps out Randy Orton by attacking Kane, because apparently a few months or how long ago it was, Zack Ryder was in a wheelchair and Kane threw him off the stage. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. Kane would dispose of Zack Ryder. The match would continue backstage, then leading back to the ring. At ringside, Kane would be DDT'd to the ground from the announce table, also superplexed, but then we get a chokeslam for a 2, then another chokeslam set up, but reversed into an RKO for the win. Randy takes the win, and also this match was about 2.5 stars. It was an okay start. Next up, we had the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay versus Dolph Ziggler, and ringside would be Vicky for Dolph and Hornswoggle for Brodus Clay. I'm not going to get too much into this, but we get a headbutt to Dolph Ziggler, then a big splash for Brodus Clay to get the win. This is 1.5 star. I'm only giving the 1.5 star to Dolph Ziggler because he is just an amazing wrestler. Next up, the Intercontinental title was on the line. Big Show versus Cody Rhodes in a tables match. And honestly, after going back and watching a bunch of old Raws and SmackDowns and old pay-per-views, Big Show has really become like a fan favorite of mine. This match would pretty much be all Big Show with a bunch of chops and really throwing Cody Rhodes all around the ring. Cody would also hit a disaster kick bouncing off a lean table, which was pretty nice. As Big Show's coming back in the ring from the outside, Cody Rhodes kicks his foot that's going over the rope, and that foot goes through a table, making Cody Rhodes the new Intercontinental Champion. I gave this 3 stars just because of the creative way to win. Well, the heavyweight title was on the line in a 2 out of 3 pinfalls. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. And in my opinion, whoever went to WrestleMania that past year was robbed, because this match is going to the Banger's Paradise. This match had everything: technical wrestling, hard hitting, a lot of joint manipulation from both men, which was fantastic. Sheamus would get the first fall after Bryan would be DQ'd for not stopping the kicks after the 5 count, and right after, Bryan would put Sheamus into the yes lock for him to get his point. After the second fall, the doctors would come check on Sheamus, then a broke kick out of nowhere to Daniel Bryan. Sheamus would make a big comeback, then get a broke kick for the win. Like I said, Banger's Paradise. WrestleMania was robbed. Next up, the WWE title was on the line in a Chicago street fight. CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. This match will start off with CM Punk and Jericho just brawling, fighting outside, coming back inside where CM Punk would start beating Jericho with a kendo stick. Jericho would take advantage by poking the eyes of CM Punk, then going outside, ripping the barricade off, the padding off, then slam CM Punk's head right in front of his sister. CM Punk's sister would not like that, so she would slap Chris Jericho, and then Punk would just start beating Jericho all around the ring. Earlier in the match, CM Punk would put a chair in between the turnbuckle, but it would be used against him when Jericho would throw him through said chair. Jericho would also use the lion tamer and the walls. CM Punk would crawl to the corner of the ring, try to grab something underneath, and he does, and it happens to be a fire extinguisher. Uses it, sprays it on Jericho to escape the walls. CM Punk would hit a diving elbow to Chris Jericho through the announce table, rolling him in for a 2, then instantly putting in the Anaconda Vice, but it would be broken up when Chris Jericho would grab a kendo stick. We would also get a code breaker with a chair for 2, then finally CM Punk would slingshot Chris Jericho to the turnbuckle, then hitting a GTS for the win. I gave this 3 stars. I mean, it could have been better, honestly. Next up, the Divas title was on the line. Nikki Bella versus Beth Phoenix, but Beth Phoenix was injured, so she could not compete, so they replaced her with Layla. Layla would be in control until Brie Bella would start distracting the ref. Then also Brie and Nikki would switch places. Brie would get hit with a neck breaker from Layla for her to get the 1-2-3, making Layla the new Divas champion. I mean, this match was okay. I gave it a 1 star. And now for your feature presentation. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar in an Extreme Rules match. This is Brock Lesnar's return to WWE since the WrestleMania where I believe it was him and Goldberg got booed out of the building. This match was all Brock. I mean, he would bust open Cena in the beginning of the match, like the first 2 minutes of the show. John Cena would also shoulder block Brock Lesnar, knocking the ref out. The ref also got knocked out like several times. Even later on, another ref would come in, Brock Lesnar would just knock him out because he didn't get a 3. Brock would also put some chains like on John Cena's feet, hang him upside down outside the ring, and just start beating him as well. Brock Lesnar would also bring in the bottom steel steps into the ring and then hit a Kimura lock to John Cena, but Cena of course would Super Cena Brock Lesnar and then slam him down onto said steel steps. Cena would also miss a diving leg drop from the top. Then Brock Lesnar would run the ropes, run off the steel steps, hitting John Cena pretty much like a clothesline outside the ring, but then he would land and pretend like his knee's injured, but then just no-sell it after. But coming to the end of the match, Cena would get the chains that were on his feet, deck Brock Lesnar, AA onto the steel steps for the win. I gave this 4 stars only because this was the beginning of reintroducing Brock Lesnar into WWE, but down the line we all know this is pretty much how all his matches will go. And that was the pay-per-view. Solid show. I say go back and watch the main event, go watch the banger between Bryan and Sheamus, and I say even watch the CM Punk and Jericho match. It was a pretty good time. So until next time, we'll see you back on Review the Pay-Per-View.